Welcome. I'm Chris.
And I'm Chris.
And this is
Mike Fight. Let's get it on.
We're back with episode 27. Good old Andrew Cuomo. Chris, what do we got? What's our good old governor been up to?
He's been up to resignations. That's what he's been up to.
Yeah. Who hasn't heard about good old Cuomo? He's no longer. He's got what, 13, 12 more days
he's got
left?
a grace period to.
He's given himself 14 days. He announced that he's going to resign in 14 days, and that was about
3-4 days ago?
About 3 days ago. So, yeah, Andrew Cuomo's out. And you know what? Someone was asking me at work whether I was happy about it.
I was just going to ask you that very question.
Yeah, so I'm kind of mixed about it, and this is what I mean by this. I am happy that he's no longer going to be our governor. I am very happy about that. However, I am not happy on how and the reason why he is leaving office. That, to me, is like a little bit of a sticking point. People are like, well, you should be happy anyway. He's gone, right? He's leaving. Well, not really. I much would have rathered one of two things. Him lose an election, right, to someone that I supported. Or, quite honestly, him be taken out because of the nursing home scandal. That, to me, is a much, much bigger issue than this, what is her name? James report. Letitia James report. I've read over the report. I don't find anything on there that is absolutely scathing, that is absolutely throwing the gauntlet down and saying it is absolutely sexual harassment from every single one of these women. Like I'm sorry, I just don't see it that way. I don't think he's going to be found guilty if they bring it to a trial or criminal. I mean, none of it.
I don't think they're even going to. See, I was going to ask you if you were happy about it, but more importantly, was whether or not this was a good thing, because
there's two ways of going about that too.
Right, because now, I think it was today, they came out and stated that he's no longer going to be
impeached.
Up for impeachment, correct?
Yeah, the assembly has said no.
Right.
The state senate and the state assembly have said that they're not moving forward. They're dropping any impeachment trial.
So that to me says there was two things. There were two angles to this that I think that they were going for. One, they all hate Andrew Cuomo.
He has no friends.
He has no friends. They always have, but they were afraid of him.
Always. That's how he operated.
Right. He operated through fear. But also, he was good for the establishment, right? The establishment Democrats. He was one of them, even though he was a little more moderate than most of the people that are in the party now.
He is quite moderate.
He was, but he used up his usefulness, and I think there's two things going on here. It's a distraction from what you said, the nursing home scandal.
Correct.
Because now he's not the governor anymore.
Correct.
It's not going to be front page news.
Correct.
When that discovery, conclusion, verdict, whatever you want to call it, comes down, it's going to be an article on page 5.
And whatever
lucky.
Whatever charges that there was,
right.
All those federal charges that he may be guilty of, which I think he is guilty of.
Nobody's going to care.
No one's going to
care.
No one's going to prosecute.
And they're not going to go after him, exactly, because why? There's no point now. He's already a beaten man. They got him out of office.
And he's not Trump.
Exactly. Well, that's the other thing. So I think, because with someone like Trump, of course, they did go for impeachment, go after him, hurt him as much as they could politically, but they know this guy's political career probably is done.
I don't see him ever coming back anywhere.
Nah. I mean, even his brother is talking, I think they're talking about trying to get rid of him too. But yeah, so I think it's the nursing home scandal, to throw that on the back page so that by the time that comes down, no one gives a shit anymore. And two, to avoid impeachment, because He wasn't planning on resigning
No.
when this came down.
Definitely not.
He was still
He had no
fighting
plan.
it. He went and did a press conference.
Absolutely.
Was going to stick it to the end. And then I think they walked in his office and they said, listen, if you stay here and you continue to fight us, A, we're going to impeach you. B, we're going to drop the nursing scandal next. And if that doesn't get you out of office, then your political career from here on out,
Completely.
whatever you might
whatever
have
credibility,
left,
whatever
is gone.
credibility. is
Exactly.
gone. I agree with you. I think there was definitely a deal done because it's quite fast. I mean, 3 days later, yeah, we're dropping the impeachment trial.
Right.
Like, I mean, really? The guy just and he gave himself 14 days.
Yep.
You know, so someone's like, well, why doesn't he just leave now? I said, well, you know, maybe he really doesn't have a house to live in and he's got to go shopping.
Yeah.
What does an ex-governor have to do to find a house? I don't know. I mean, but yeah, he literally has to go find a house. He doesn't have any. Apparently, he doesn't have another property anywhere. So, 14 days. I thought it was you give you 2-week resignation anyway, right? When you leave a job, right?
Yeah. Well, you got the transition too.
Yeah.
Now that you have to bring in.
So, and that's another person, like another thing. The person that's now taken his position. What's her name?
Kathy Hochul.
Hochul.
Yeah.
So, she.
And we talked about this a long time ago, by the way.
Yes.
When we first discussed their plans for this whole, because we knew this was coming months ago.
What? Here's the thing, though. She's an outlier, meaning that no one knows anything on her.
No, she's been buried for the entire time she's been lieutenant governor.
No one has any idea what this woman really is all about. I mean, she was an assemblyman or senator, state senator or something, or she was a congresswoman or something. She was something because I think she was with Peter King. So maybe Peter King, when he was part of the New York, wasn't he part of the New York Congress?
Yeah, he was.
Assembly.
Yeah.
So maybe they worked together there. Pete King says that she's moderate. That she, has she's fierce. She doesn't back down, but she's not a loon, meaning she's not crazy like AOC. Now,
Well, it's very hard to get that crazy though.
well, we do live in pressing times.
I know.
But with all that, I don't know what to think of her. And she's already established that she's running. She's going to run for governor.
Yeah.
She stated that she is going to run. She did come out and say that she agrees with the CDC recommendations on school, forcing kids to wear masks in school. However, has stressed that she's going to allow the districts
Well, she wants to meet with the districts.
But she also said that she's going to allow them to this is what she says, that she agrees that the districts should come together and set their own policies.
Right, but I don't buy any of that.
I don't buy it either.
Because
let's say I don't trust it. I think the districts are going to go
the district's going to go with whatever
what
the
CDC
and the school union, the teachers union goes with. That's
So we shall see. I mean,
Yeah,
again, that depends on whether you're a person that agrees with masks, even though top Biden advisor from the CDC says that masks don't work except for N95s, which we kind of could all have figured that out anyway from the very beginning.
Yeah, masks aren't a new thing. They've been around for decades. Everybody knew what the actual, efficacy of masks were, but we just all, well, not we, but scientific and medical community likes to forget about all that and pretend like masks are a new thing.
So
but the only thing, though, is because Peter King, and I liked Peter King when he was our rep, but when he knew her, when he was involved in politics, it was a different time.
It was. Yeah, absolutely.
So now it's different. Now you have her, and she knows. She just watched what happened to Andrew Cuomo, right?
Yeah.
And now she's stepping in to become the first female governor in New York history.
Right.
Right? She owes a lot of favors to a lot of people. Most people, we have no idea who they are.
You think so?
Absolutely. You don't think Letitia James walked into her office and said, "You're welcome"? You don't think that didn't happen?
Interesting.
Now, again, we don't know, but that's how politics works.
I think Letitia James did it for herself.
100%.
She's running.
Because she's running too.
She's going to run.
But I think later on, when we get closer to that point, when election season comes for the governor, you're going to see. I can't see both of them running against each other, but I can see one of them endorsing the other.
See, I disagree with that. I think they each can stand on their own merits, and I honestly think that they will go and be vicious towards each other.
I don't know. I mean, you might be right.
The problem is that we don't know much on Kathy. Like, we don't know anything. I have nothing. I honestly don't know her background. At all.
But we watched the Democratic, primaries, and they were.
Are they going to do?
They were destroying each other on the stage.
Are they going to do the rank choice voting? Is that going to be done?
Oh my God!
Is that going to be? Imagine that.
That was completely useless.
Is that imagine that being done now for the Democratic?
Well, that's what you do. You start at lower level offices and then you slowly work your way up. I mean, that's how these stupid things work. But I don't know. Like I said, I think she is, but also just that simple fact that like the first thing that she says that goes public is these mask mandates, and it's like, yeah, I am fully in favor of mask mandates for kids. Again, no science, provides no study to back up her. She just I just want them. All right, but why? You need to provide some. No, it's because the CDC says.
Because the CDC says.
All right, what study are they promoting? There is none.
They don't have.
They don't have any.
It's just good science.
Right. The only thing you have on masks is a bullshit debunked study, and then you have Fauci's emails saying that masks don't work. Those are two things you have to go on. You think in the year and what is it now? Was it 515 days, right? Since the day everything locked down. You think that the NIH that gets funding from the government, right? They get what, they have $50 million or $50 billion in funding. You think at some point somebody would have taken some of the money and said, you know what, maybe we should do some tests.
We've covered this in the last one, in one of the last episodes. There was like zero.
None. They haven't done anything.
Zero.
Anything. And you know what? You know what's funny is the not to get off topic here, but there was a study done by Duke about masks and kids.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Right. So, of course you wouldn't see it because it's another study that they used that's a completely fake, not fake study. It's obviously real, but it was done completely wrong against the scientific method. So,
great.
They did a study on masks and their effectiveness of kids wearing them in schools.
Okay.
They tested 1 million kids.
1 million kids?
1 million kids.
How do you test 1 million kids?
I don't know.
Okay.
But they did 1 million kids masked and then ran a study to find out what the efficacy was of the masks.
On only kids that are wearing masks?
In terms of infection rates.
That's not how you do that.
Right. So
you need a control. You need one and the other and a control. I mean, there's a
placebo. You need something to compare it to.
Correct.
Right. You can't just say we tested 100 kids and we found out that masks work 100%. You can't do that.
That's not how things are done.
Right. So there's this study was being touted as one of the studies being used to make the argument that kids should be masked.
Okay.
And then you get halfway through, and they throw it in the middle of it. Oh, by the way, we were unable to test kids that were in schools that were not mandated to wear masks. So we have no comparison from our study to a study with kids who weren't wearing masks. So somebody else came along and did that. And they found numbers, infection numbers for kids in schools that weren't masks.
Okay.
And they compared it to the numbers in this study.
Okay.
I'll let you take a guess as to who had the higher infection rate.
Well, it's got to be the kids without the masks.
Right. No. It was the kids who were masked.
Had a higher infection rate.
Had a higher infection rate.
There you go. Full sense of security.
So it's
full sense of security.
Right. And these are the things where Kathy Hochul comes out and says something like that, and it's like, what are you basing that off of?
Right.
The CDC. The CDC has been proven either wrong or outright lying, fudging numbers, or using studies that are either debunked or are not even, they don't even apply to the United States. You know, and I see something like that and I'm like, okay, so she's going to say whatever she needs to say to satisfy the status quo.
But I still think, but her second portion of that was to go back and say that she still would allow the districts to make up their own minds.
Yes.
So there's
hope.
There's hope.
Right.
I mean, you can say one thing and say, I fully back the idea of masks. However, I'm going to allow the districts to do what they see fit. That, to me, I think is not that bad of an approach because it puts you in a good light with certain entities, but still allows the choice and freedom for your constituents,
right,
so to say. I think that's a decent approach.
Yeah.
How she governs, we shall see. Will she get rid of the bail reform law? Will she put an amendment to it? Because that was signed by a moderate Democrat who we thought was moderate, Cuomo, to appease his left side.
Yeah.
And that's just been a complete disaster all across the state. Forget about just the city.
It's been a disaster across the country because other cities and states have adopted similar bills.
Right.
And it's blowing up in everybody's face.
It's just ridiculous.
So, yeah, I mean, I agree. It's a good approach because you're not standing on either side. You're standing in the middle and you're saying, all right, this is how I feel.
She's claimed her ideas,
right,
what she is backing, but at the same time allows the people to make the decision.
Right. But I just think that the school districts have been so corrupted that she knows exactly what the majority of the school districts are going to say.
It's funny that you go there because in my kids' district, there's going to be a virtual town hall going to discuss whether or not we're going to adopt masks outside.
See, and that is a bullshit. That right there shows you how cowardly they are. That they're doing it virtual. Because there is no reason to be doing anything virtual right now. They don't want parents showing up in person because they know that they're going to get absolutely destroyed at that meeting.
Depending on where they are. I agree with you.
100%. And you know what you could do in a virtual town hall?
You can mute people.
Exactly. Oh, shit. Bad connection. Yeah. Click. Sorry, we lost you. That is absolute horseshit.
So there was then, and before the email went out about having the meeting, there was a survey that went out and asked if you there was two questions. Do you support? So right now the district is going with that the CDC guideline that the kids will have to wear masks inside, but the question was, do you support wearing masks outside? So outside, I of course said no because that makes absolutely. I don't want my kids wearing one inside. So the fact that you think I'm going to say that they can be allowed to wear one outside, you're out of your mind. So I said no. And then the next question was, well, where do you base your information off of? Like, what's your reasoning for not wanting your kids to wear masks outside? And it gave a whole bunch of categories, and I basically picked one up and said I think it was like the science doesn't support it. There's nothing there to support it, and it had other options and like religious beliefs and some other crap. So I found it funny. It was just two questions. I don't know, man. My wife thinks that they are going to state that based on the survey that kids will need to wear masks inside and out. And good luck trying to keep my 4-year-old with a mask on.
Well, that's the thing. So what's the penalty? How do you penalize a 4-year-old for not being able to? That's the sick.
Send them home.
Like that,
right? They're going to send them home.
So you're going to send them home every day.
Every day.
A 4-year-old kid. You're going to send them home every day because they don't. It's absolute insanity.
It's nonsense.
And that's why I don't understand parents.
This is punitive. You're going to wind up penalizing your 5-year-old, your 6-year-old, your 7-year-old for running around outside and having their mask perhaps fall off. They take it off. They can't breathe right. All this other. I mean, they have snot pouring out of it.
Yeah,
their nose
mask
are running.
Is wet.
This is wet.
It's wet.
And now you're gonna what? Because they don't want to wear it anymore. You're gonna send them home. So now, what if the parent has work, and all of a sudden their kid is refusing, or it now has to be sent home because they got to come home from work, come out, pick up the kid, and all this.
And this is the shit that they don't think about. This is what I always say when they always make these rules. They never think about the and then what part of it.
Right. They don't go
They
down
just
the
make
extra
the
mile.
rule, but they don't go down the line and say, okay, well, what is this going to cause? And then what is that going to cause? And then what is that going to cause? And so on and so on. It's just, no, we make the rule. This is what we're going to do. All right, but then what? Don't worry about it. We're not going to worry about it
You
now.
see, all of this crap
It's all
happened
crap.
because Cuomo freaking had to resign.
You there?
I mean, honestly, I think I would have much. I said before, I would have much rather seen him lose an election than to have decided to resign based on this. So, I really to answer the question, what do I think about it? I don't know, man. It's not the ideal way. I am happy, but it's not the ideal way I would have wanted him to go.
No, and I just want to see what happens after this. Like you said, like, where does he go from here? He's got to find another place to live. Does he stay in New York? Does he leave New York?
That would be interesting.
Because I could see him leaving and going to a red state.
I could definitely see him leaving.
Yeah.
Just getting out.
Because now
he may go to California, but I can definitely see him leaving New York.
Yeah, I think so. Because I can't see him staying here.
How great would that be? He goes to a red state.
100%. Did you hear that? There's all these like the mass exodus from blue states.
Oh yeah.
Right. So now they're saying that
it's going to hurt
because like Joe Rogan moved to Austin, Texas.
Oh, did he?
He
moved
left
everything?
California.
Oh,
yeah, this was like last year.
Yes, that's right.
In the middle because he got sick and tired
of
California.
You're absolutely right.
So now that there's more reports coming out that more celebrities are following suit and they're leaving California and going to Austin and outlining spots
they're going to destroy Austin.
Texas. Right. So it's like, okay,
you're going to bring your same failed ideas over there.
Exactly. And that's the shit. Like Cuomo, all right, he goes, where's he going to go? He's going to go to Florida? But he just spent all last year telling Trump, oh, go to Florida. Get the fuck out. We don't like you here. We don't want you here in New York. Now you're going to follow him down there. You're going to go knock on his door.
Go to Florida.
Right? No. But you think of like any other states, like Tennessee or the Carolinas, Texas.
I would be how much of a testament would it be if he went to a red state? I'm going to go to a place where there's lower taxes.
Yeah. Yeah, right?
Where there's no state income tax.
Right.
Where I can not pay the government taxes.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he spent his entire career doing nothing but raising taxes in the state that he governed. I want to see it. If that happens, if he goes to a red state and that tax laws on that red state is anything less than New York's, what a hypocrite.
Yeah.
What an absolute hypocrite.
You know what, though, too, though? His other haven is Long Island. That's his other haven. He goes out to the Hamptons where his brother lives with his wife.
Does he live with his brother for the time being?
He might. I mean, his brother's got a nice freaking mansion out there, right?
That's right.
His wife's got like a yoga studio out there. So he might go out there because who lives out in the Hamptons?
Yeah, no one.
All the rich Democrats.
They all own own houses out there.
Right.
I don't think they actually live there.
But that's the company that he would keep. It's all
Yes.
these people who still want to try and convince themselves and everybody else that he was a good governor and did good for the state. And he'd, go hide himself over there somewhere.
So that's what we got. We have with Cuomo. He's out. He's done. Kathy's in. We shall see what's going on.
It's a good and bad. Listen, he got out of office some way, somehow, on a negative light. On the bad side, he's not going to face the limelight like he should have.
Yeah. I don't know if justice will be 100% for everyone, but we got what we wanted. No more Cuomo.
Newsom is going to be the big test.
That will
if
be.
Newsom gets
Larry Elder.
Yeah. If he gets voted out between the Cuomo thing and him, especially if a Republican wins in California, that's going to blow up the whole future of the party right there.
It's going to be Caitlyn Jenner versus Larry Elder.
Listen, she's got some good ideas, man. I don't know. I mean, she's...
Caitlyn Jenner versus Larry Elder.
I mean, we tried that with
I'm a Larry Elder guy.
So Larry Elder's good. And they've been going after him like crazy. They've been trying to change rules and laws to keep him from running. They're banning him from places.
He wasn't on the ballot. They accidentally forgot to put him on the ballot.
I know, it's always an accident. I know. So I would love to see him take that state.
Larry Elder, he's a libertarian.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's on the Republican ticket, but
Well, he has to. Yeah, he has to.
But
run on that.
he's more of a libertarian than anything else.
Yeah.
Larry Elder. Larry. Let's
we'll
go.
We'll see if that. We'll see what happens with that.
All right, we're gonna cut it there.
We're out. I'm Chris.
And I'm Chris.
And this is where we drop the mic.